It really is hard to avoid doing.
Trying to alienate. Yeah, he's trying not to alienate his audience, but saying like, the Trumper candidates are problematic. Bolduc is a perfect example.
Cry more, bitch.
Oh,
I'm sorry. This is what happens.
This is what happens.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Don't call me out. Fine. I'm sorry, Matt. I only did it because Sam started it. So I'm a follower. Yeah.
Cabernet Sauvignon. Let loose. It's not Cab. What is it?
It's Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, sorry. Sauvignon Blanc. Yes.
Right.
Excusez-moi.
Yeah.
Let's
Enchanté.
go. Calling from a 614 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello?
Is this me?
Yeah.
It really is hard to avoid doing that. I apologize. I'm Dylan from Australia.
Dylan from Australia. Where in Australia?
Yes. I'm in Victoria, Melbourne. I know you said I think you lived here for a little while.
I did. Not for too long, for about a month. It was fun.
In Sydney or in Melbourne? Or
in Melbourne.
Doesn't matter. Right. Oh, well. Anyway, I live out in St Kilda. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Anyways, the point of my call was about we have like an Australian, obviously we have a bunch of, I think about 80% of our newspapers are run by Rupert Murdoch, but there's a small consortium, the Fairfax papers, which are now owned by a company run by the former treasurer, Peter Costello, and the Nine papers. And their American correspondent wrote a piece over the weekend about Joe Manchin and about how he said it's a disgrace about the coal in Virginia, where it's an honest statement by Joe Biden about we need to have some sort of energy transition, otherwise we'll kind of further the recession and continue along, obviously, the kind of state capture of, he makes $550,000 American dollars a year from his coal mines in West Virginia against $173,000, which is a lot of money for a senator, obviously. Anyway,
oh yeah, he's got a lot of different sort of side hustles, as it were.
It'd be admirable if he wasn't left destroying the planet. Anyway, the point of coverage was that they made no mention of any of this, right? And so I was aware of it from listening to your program. There's a guest that you had on. I don't know if they were journalists, maybe, but you had an extended discussion in the regular program portion of the show. And I just, I messaged that journalist and I tweeted at them, and they had previously discussed it because they used to live in Melbourne, East and Oban, this stuff with Joe Manchin. And for whatever reason, didn't get past an editorial board, or it wasn't even seen to be necessary to the conversation to mention that this is all said within the fact that if coal is stopped in West Virginia, he'll be $500,000 poorer, and his $3 million in assets from his coal companies will be worth less money, and then he will return.
And that's just money directly in his pocket. You what you can assess is how much money he's making for other people who are putting money into his other pocket.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That goes back to the question about whether or not, if he leaves the Senate, he goes into trying to make money out of those connections to become rather than maybe having tens of millions of dollars in maybe cash assets and maybe a little bit more in equity, to be able to go I have on paper $100 million or more, and because I've just engaged in the destruction of water or whatever in West Virginia and all these kind of things, and the history of the Battle Blair Mountain, all these kind of things within that state of the country. I think it's kind of fucked that he kind of is I'm going to try and put my foot on the scales so we don't get 51, 52 senators, because I want to be able to retain control of an the talks happening in Egypt at the moment. Right?
Yeah.
I'm literally going to try and kill us all, but I'm going to make a bit of money and I'll be all right, hopefully.
Well,
because I've got to make enough money.
Listen, in his defense, I don't think he's thinking. I don't think he's thinking I'm going to try and kill us all. I do think that he thinks he's going to survive.
Sure, exactly. That's exactly it.
I think he might be thinking I may kill a lot of you, but I'm going to be okay. Yeah. And so at the very least, in his mind, he's acting rationally, maybe if not. Oh, somehow I hung up.
Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sorry about that. He's still on though, so hold on.
You're having a conversation with somebody, and they're just like, "Yeah, I literally believe the opposite thing of the thing that I said live on camera, not 20 seconds ago." Of course I do. I'm a smart person. I know the truth about things, but I'm here to make money as performing very well against you in this debate club about something that is untrue. And you personally, you're like me in terms of the lack of the ability to just go, sure, like you're very, like you ask too many questions to be able to do that. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You're too inquisitive, and it self-internalizes as guilt. Like you can't engage in that kind of sociopathic lying, I suppose. Which you can make a whole shit ton of money. You had a very different career in media if you and Janine, or if that entire radio infrastructure ceased to exist at Air America. If somebody had to come along and go, I will give you $50 million if you sabotage Air America, and let's say it was financially successful as opposed to the circumstances it was in. You're the kind of person that would go, no, who are you? Okay, I had evidence of you saying this. I put this on the air because it happened to me or whatever. Like
I will say I do have a bad habit of recording people without their permission.
I was going to say, you would have sabotaged Air America for half of that.
I would have done it. Give me $750 and like a gift card, and we could talk. As soon as I see someone waving around that kind of money, I get suspicious. I start thinking, like, am I going to have to transfer money into your bank account just to pay the lawyer for the transactional fee or something? All right. Well, listen. Yeah, I mean, I get your point. I appreciate the call. Someday I'll tell the story about what I saw at Fitzroy. Was that it? Fitzroy?
It's Fitzroy.
Fitzroy. I was at a Fitzroy football end of season dinner. And
Aussie rules.
Yeah, Aussie rules football, and it was one of the more dispiriting things I've ever experienced in my life. But I don't think I can.
In what way?
I can't.
Sport culture in Australia is very toxic. It's very. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, that explains it. That's how I would. I mean, it's been 30 years and I still am not over it. But I appreciate the call. I think it was about 30 years ago, and
I mean, you're like making everybody very curious now.
I honestly like. Okay. So at one point in this, like, it's like an end of the season dinner, and I don't know how I got there. I guess this guy I knew was like buddies with these guys, and we went out to the dinner, and it was in like not quite a banquet hall, but like, sort of like the banquet room of like a hotel or something like this. It wasn't particularly fancy. And at one point at the end of the meal, one of the players basically, really, I mean, I guess gotta say, he pulled down his pants and was showing everybody how he had basically through friction created a hole in his foreskin.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Holy shit, that's way worse than I thought.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought you were gonna say like there was an orgy at the
Can we get this?
party.
Can we get this?
No. Yeah, can I get that ding dong? Let me just breaking news. Breaking news. 30 years later, I'm still haunted by what I saw at that table. I mean, I still
have to mark this one.
Honestly, like
I would have taken his word for it. He wouldn't have had to show me.
No, I didn't even like. It was so quick. It's not something that you assume, like, even if someone was to actually say that, but he was articulating it as he was showing it. And I'm just like, wait, what? What's going on here? And honestly, like,
he did not ask for your consent.
No, it's like, and there was like, I don't know, it was like 15, 20 people there. And I seem to be the only person, like, I don't know what the look on my face was, but I was like,
that's a lot of friction. Like, that's just. Sorry.
I can't even tell you. Like, I can't even think about it.
I didn't bring it up.
Well,
can I break some news?
Yeah. Ring the goddamn bell.
Chris Pappas in New Hampshire, another seat that was potentially vulnerable. He has they've called it for him, election outlets.